key thing to remember when developing Latin rhythms on the drum set is that the drummer is imitating several people from what would be a Latin or Brazilian rhythm section, where there isn't commonly a drum set player. At the bottom of the screen, for example, is a bossa nova. The right hand is playing eighth notes, which would imitate the shaker player or the cabasa player. That can be played on a closed hi-hat, an open hi-hat, the ride cymbal with brushes, whatever. The left hand is imitating the clave loosely, either a 3-2 or a 2-3 clave. And the bass drum is playing along with what the bass player would be playing in his or her bass line. So a common bossa nova will sound like this. Moving on from that, we can talk about a samba, which a lot of people nowadays think of as just a bossa nova that's twice as fast. Again, the right hand is imitating what the shaker player would be playing. The bass drum is playing along with what the bass player would be playing. The left hand, again, somewhat imitates the clave pattern, or the way people tend to play it these days also is that the left hand just sort of loosely improvises comping patterns over the rest of the feel. So a common samba would sound something like this. The next two rhythms that you're going to see at the bottom of the screen are common Latin dance rhythms. The first one that you see right now is the rumba. It can be played one of two ways. Either the hands can play the pattern exclusively on the drums, or the right hand can play up on the bell of the cymbal. Essentially, the hands are imitating what the conga player would be playing, and when you play it up on the cymbal, you're imitating what the cowbell player would maybe be playing, or what would maybe be happening on the side of a timbale. The bass drum, again, is playing along with what the bass player would be playing. So here's a rumba. The next rhythm on the screen is a cha-cha-cha, known for the way it ends. It's phonetic, cha-cha-cha. The right hand imitating the cowbell player or the side of the timbale, the left hand imitating the conga player, and again the bass drum imitating what the bass player would be playing. So here's a cha-cha-cha. The last common pattern that a young drummer would need to perhaps be aware of would be the mambo. The cowbell pattern that gets played on the bell of the cymbal for the mambo is dependent on which way the clave is going, if it is a 3-2 clave or if it is a 2-3 clave. I'm going to play the mambo for you each way. The first four measures will be played with a 2-3 clave. Then for four measures, I'm going to turn it around and play it as if the clave were 3-2. So this is a mambo. You'll see both versions cued at the bottom of the screen. There are variations of all of these that students should learn as they progress, but what has been showed and played is a good place for the beginning and intermediate player to start. Some good books to get you going beyond this point would be the books by Johnny Ray, A Latin Guide for Drummers, Frank Malaby's Latin books, And I believe it's Bob Leatherbarrow who wrote a series of 3 books that cover virtually all of the Latin and Brazilian rhythms. They should help get you on your way to playing all these styles effectively.